I'm gonna go ahead and sustain this one. Um, he can restate based on like how do I phrase this? He can restate his answer without bringing any potential bias or previous issues into this.
Okay. I don't even remember what the question was that I asked.
The question you asked was regarding whether, in his professional opinion, you would say he posed a credible threat.
Okay. All right, Rhodes. Well, I'll re-ask that then. In your professional opinion, would you say that that he posed a credible threat to officer and public safety?
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. Ignoring any personal situations with KJ. Again, even just what was demonstrated within that situation alone. The ramming of me multiple times, turning into me ramming me against the wall, turning in front of an officer at well over 100 miles an hour.
Objection, hearsay.
But that was a.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, that was
in
court
as what happened, and he heard that third party, not witnessed it.
But I'm telling you what I heard.
So we just define it. Yeah, if you can just define that it's what you heard, not as a factual statement. Sorry, I'll let the judge make that determination. Then.
Yeah, I'm gonna sustain that one. I'll find it as hearsay, just reworded so that that's what you heard, not that it's a matter of fact.
Based upon all of the information available to me, to include what I felt when he was ramming me against the wall in his core, in addition to what I heard on radio, which was that, again, I ain't gonna say an exact number, but well over 100 miles an hour, he turned in front of an officer. And also what I heard on radio regarding the threat towards an officer, in which that threat that I heard on radio when it was communicated to me was the only time he gonna get out the car is to start blasting. I'm paraphrasing, to be clear. But based upon all of those, I firmly believe that Carl Johnny Black posed an immediate threat of serious injury or death to officers or other people. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Were you on scene when the vehicle was immobilized?
I don't recall. I do know that I did position to open fire and did open fire. The exact positioning, I believe, or I'm inclined to say, I was not there when he had been shot down. I believe I was at that point involved in a separate pursuit with one of the other interference cars.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, was there any moment in which Mr. Black attempted to peacefully surrender?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Just one moment.
I've been having like coughing fits again. I'm down in cough drops like crazy. It's bad.
Rhodes, were you made aware during the situation of any other officer injuries due to this pursuit?
Specific to injuries or situations that could lead to injury?
Situations that could have led to injury, or did, well, both actually. Situations that could have led to injury or did lead to injury.
Aside from, you know, him ramming me, and also the other stuff that was communicated over radio that I was not witness to, you know, in terms of pulling in front of officers at high rates of speed, I'm not. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Can I reference the report for my statement?
Defense has no problem with that, Your Honor.
Go for it.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I read the report and it jogged my memory. Oh, my good. How could I forget? He shot my husband.
Okay. Before shooting your husband, was there any other means of injury purveyed? Question mark. Through the incident. Let me make that a lot simpler.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna object to that being confusing. I'm confusion. One more time.
Did he?
Your Honor, if it makes things easier, I'm not going to provide any objections to the normal questioning layout that we see. So if he needs to word it however he needs to, we can proceed that way.
Did KJ hit Richard Dark with his car?
I was not present for that. So I can't confidently say because I wasn't present for that. I can't answer that.
Okay. All right. That's I think unless somebody else has anything, I don't think we have any more questions for Rhodes at this time. This is so much more complicated than it needed to be.
Hey, good luck.
Is that it for the prosecution?
Yes. All right. We don't have any further questions for Rhodes at this time.
Alrighty, Cross.
Yes, Your Honor. Hello, Rhodes.
Hello. Good night.
All right, just to clarify that last little point, just because I know it got a little sticky there, the point at which Mr. Black opened fire upon your husband, Mr. Dark, that was, at what point did that occur?
That would have been after we opened fire. Because when I opened fire, he had not yet stepped out of the vehicle, to the best of my knowledge. And then when units continued to pursue him, I was not present for when he was fully shot down.
All right. And prior to you making the decision to relay to officers to open fire on Mr. Black, you relayed that you stated that you received multiple relays of information about different things that occurred or moments in that pursuit to you.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Did that all come at once, or did that come over time over the course of the pursuit?
It was over time. In specific order, again, the three primary things were the ramming of me at the very beginning, and not just like one off. It was continuous ramming towards the wall. Then it was mention of the pulling in front of officers, if I recall correctly, and then it was mention of the threat in which the threat that was communicated to me over radio that I did not hear myself. I want to make that clear. And at that point, I made the call to open fire.
Understood. So when you stated the first incident was Mr. Black ramming yourself, correct? So you physically were present and witnessed this one, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. If I didn't have my harness on, I ain't a medical professional, but I probably have some whiplash or something. I don't know.
And at this point, did you make the declaration for officers to open fire on Mr. Black?
No. At that point, on that basis alone, I didn't deem it enough on its own to, justify it.
Now, for the next incident where you heard that he had pulled in front of officers at excess of 100 miles an hour, this was relayed to you over radio? You did not witness this firsthand?
That is correct, yes, because I was pursuing another vehicle.
And at that point, did you make the call for officers to use lethal force to disable the vehicle?
No.
And further beyond that, after that incident, then you heard over the radio that he had made a statement. What were the exact words, as you best recall, to your best of recollection, of what was said over the radio to you of how he made the statement?
I'm going to paraphrase here, because
you can check your statement if you need to.
Let me just go ahead and reference that.
So I know it's been some time.
It has been. It has been.
I think we're nearing 3 weeks on that.
The way I wrote it was also indicated that the only time they'd step out of the vehicle was to shoot. However, referencing Davenport's statement, the only time I'm stepping out is to shoot you.
Well, let's stick to what you personally recollect, because you had to make this decision based on the information that you had at the time, correct?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Again, in the moment, I could tell you the general gist of it was, again, the only time he was going to be stepping out the core was to be blasting. That's the gist of it that I got.
Understood. So you understood that he made a statement that the only way I'm getting out of this car is to shoot, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Did officers then say he stepped out of the vehicle?
Nope.
So he was still in the vehicle?
That is correct, to the best of my knowledge. By the way, I'm popping cough drops, okay?
You're fine. You need to do
like hard candy.
All right. So you witnessed the very first incident. You recollect you were relayed the second and third incident, and then you made the call to open fire, use lethal force against a living person after that. Correct?
Yeah, that correct.
Based on what you had at hand. All right. I think I got nothing further on him on that one, Your Honor. We will mark him for recall unless are you super time constrained, or are you? Okay?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Yeah, we'll mark him for recall.
Hey, good shit.
Alrighty, any redirect from the prosecution?
We're saying no, Your Honor. We don't have any redirect.
Alrighty, Mr. Rhodes, you're free to step down, but you are not free to leave.
Damn. You know what, y'all? One day I'm gonna show up as a sovereign citizen and see how that goes.
Oh, you already won.
What?
The Reed Dankleaf special.
What?
Nothing.
Alrighty, prosecution, do you have any further witnesses?
Yes, one last witness, Sergeant Dan Fisher.
Don't y'all find it funny that sovereign citizens still show up to court even though their whole claim is they have no authority over them? Why'd they show up? I think that's
I don't
silly.
know. Yeah.
I think they
All right, Mom, whenever you're ready.
What the fuck's going on?
All right.
the
Just gonna
peanut
try to get
gallery.
seated here. Just let me know when you're comfortable.
Those are some of my favorite videos of people with their sovereign citizen plates and stuff.
What's their argument half the time? They're not traveling. They're not driving. They're traveling.
driving. Yeah, they're traveling.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury? So help you.
I watched
so
one
help
guy.
you. I do. Witness is sworn in.
I watched one guy, He
Alrighty,
was in
prosecution to
Minnesota.
witness.
and the cop is like, in the state of
Can you
Minnesota,
state
and this
your
guy said
name,
with
badge
with
number,
full
and rank for
confidence,
the room?
I'm not in Minnesota.
Dan
Dumbass.
Fisher, 459.
And the
Sergeant
cop said,
of
and
the
I quote,
LSPD.
"Then why am I, the Minnesota State Trooper,
Dan,
pulling your ass over right now?"
Could you?
Okay,
tell
hold
us
on, I'm gonna have to
what
listen to
your
this.
involvement was
Yeah.
in this incident?
Wait, Maple, are
Yeah,
you speaking up?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I heard over radio the request for more units as there was interference for a car that was being chased. The scene was on Dalpera Freeway. I arrived on scene, and I, as a result, have ended up chasing a black Ferrari registered to Carl Johnny Black.
Hmm.
Do you recall this vehicle that you were supposed to be chasing, pulling out in front of you at high rates of speed?
Yes.
When did that happen with your involvement in this incident?
I arrived on scene to witness the vehicle repeatedly ramming Rhodes's Scout on the freeway. I've then attempted to chase the main target vehicle as it's gone
Rhodes
off
used
the
to
freeway
steal
onto
your food.
Elgin Ave, and then has
Uh,
turned on back onto Dalpera Freeway. As I've turned off Elgin Ave to go onto the freeway, the Ferrara has turned in front of me.
And at that point in time, you switched targets to assist with the Ferrari.
Affirm.
thank you.
There you go.
Were you in pursuit of the Ferrari for the remainder of that pursuit?
Yes, I was.
Did you
You could have
overhear any
part-
communication between the Ferrari
for
and
food.
Sergeant Davenport?
I'm good. Thanks.
Yes, I did.
Do you recall what was said?
I'm probably paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of the only way I'm getting out of this car is to shoot you.
Were you one of the officers that opened fire on the Ferrari?
Not on the Ferrara, but I did open fire once the Ferrara was disabled.
And what prompted you to open fire on the suspect?
There was a call for it over radio, as well as when his Ferrara's crashed out. I've witnessed him exit the vehicle and attempt to shoot down Richard Dark.
That's my husband.
Prior to attempting to shoot down Richard Dark, did he attempt to strike Richard Dark with his vehicle, or did he succeed?
I witnessed his vehicle drive right into Richard Dark's vehicle. Yes, while Richard Dark's vehicle was stationary and he was out of the vehicle.
Now, prior to this all, because this was after officers had already opened fire on the suspect, did you believe, due to the information relayed to you and what you had witnessed directly, that Mr. Black posed a credible threat to officer and public safety?
Yes.
What actions caused you to have that belief?
His aggressive ramming of roads, and the threat he made to Davenport in the car, as well as I don't believe that that threat was made in jest. In my experience, that threat was not made in jest. That was a credible threat. As well as him turning in front of me.
I was just about to ask the question.
Okay.
By the way, I'm glad you survived that. I was worried about you, Fisher.
Thank you, Davenport. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Do you
I'm
recall?
glad you survived too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You didn't get
Glad we all
shot.
survived. Glad we all survived. I'm glad everybody involved survived. That goes for every single person involved. Dan, do you recall
Holy shit, Frost is on duty?
a rough estimate, perhaps, or to the best of your ability, the speeds you were traveling when the vehicle pulled out in front of you?
The speeds would be, I would say, in excess of 100 miles per hour. I can't recall the exact one, but 100 miles per hour, easily doing that turn onto the freeway.
Okay. Just one moment. Any further questions?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I was gonna say, I feel like the biggest one was the firsthand testimony of him recalling the events of the vehicle turning in front of him, which he's done. So,
no further questions from the prosecution at this time, Your Honor.
Alrighty, defense, you're good for cross.
Yes, Your Honor. Hello, Fisher.
How are you?
Been all right. I just wanted to clarify a couple things. So you stated that when you were interdicted by Mr. Black, you were traveling on Elgin.
Objection, confusing. That was a big word. What? What was that?
Interdicted?
What'd that mean? Define it. I don't. What's the word? I'm confused.
use it in a sentence.
I'm sorry, is I don't know a word an objection?
Yeah, it's confusing.
We don't know if we can object it, so we are objecting to it because we don't know what it means.
Do you have a rebuttal for objection confusing?
I mean, is it my responsibility to give them a dictionary? Do they need a moment to Google?
Keep it at a fifth grade reading level, please.
Fifth grade is pushing it. I need at least like a third grade.
I'll rephrase.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
When Mr. Black car go into your car, you on Elgin? Yes.
No, I on highway on ramp.
It's not much easier to understand. Jesus.
You stated you were traveling on Elgin, turning onto Del Perro Freeway on ramp.
Correct.
So this would be roughly a good 90-degree turn. Do you remember which direction it's okay if you don't, which direction you were traveling on Elgin, northbound or southbound?
I was traveling southbound by Pillbox, turning right onto it would be the Del Perro Freeway exit.
Correct.
So I was driving into oncoming traffic.
Okay. So you turned right into that. You were prior to this.
You'll
traveling
always be happy
southbound
with
on
that
Elgin. Were you
question.
driving into incorrect
When the
lanes of
judge
travel, or did you
deliberates, you're
dive
gonna have
into
to read
oncoming
that
lanes
back.
to make this turn.
Wait, say again. I wanna answer your question. Also, can you repeat it?
Prior and during this turn that you made from Elgin Avenue, while you're going southbound, did you turn? Were you operating your vehicle in correct lanes, or did you dive into oncoming traffic to make this turn?
Now let me think. There was no diving, but because I had come up the other on ramp, I've made a wide arcing turn to go down the other one. So it's sort of like a semicircle turn almost. I've come off the freeway, gone wide
his ability to carry speed
into
through
it would be
corner.
oncoming lanes, and then turned down the on ramp to continue to pursue the vehicle.
Okay, are you stating that you came up the other
Bring
side?
up all that, and then end it with just
Yes,
like you
correct.
were going eastbound and then
reconfirming with him.
merged onto
I-
Elgin going southbound
Yeah.
and then back
Do
westbound
do
in the
you
eastbound
feel
lanes
like
on Elgin? So you made a 180 degree
actually
turn effectively.
you don't even need to go that far into
Effectively,
it. I have faith in you.
Okay, so you're stating you maintained over 100-mile-an-hour speeds in a large 180 degree turn.
Correct. Elgin's 4 lanes wide, I believe, at that point. And I was in the oncoming lanes of traffic because I've been trying to maintain my speed. My vehicle wasn't the quickest that night, and the vehicle was already ahead. So I've tried to make a large arc on my turn as to maintain proper speed. Enough speed to get down the ramp in quick time. Racing
Okay.
line, some people call it.
So ahead of you, the other vehicles that were ahead of you, what was the approximate distance between you and the next vehicle ahead of you?
Approximate
pursuit.
distance.
Yeah. You can give a rough. I mean, we're not expecting pure factual measurements here. You can give your rough guesstimate here.
I was not on their bumper. There was not a considerable, but there was distance between myself and I believe it was secondary. I think I was tertiary.
Are we talking
I would-
like a car
I
length?
could estimate
5 car
probably-
lengths, 10 car lengths, 20.
Probably, I could say like 25 to 50 yards, somewhere in that.
Okay, so there's a generally a considerable distance. You weren't riding the ass of the next person in front of you.
No, I was not riding the ass of the next person, but I wouldn't say that I was so far behind that no one would know I was in the chase.
Yeah. Could you see at that point while you were making that turn onto Elgin? Could you see the original target vehicle that you were pursuing?
Yeah, I could. I could see that it was down back on the freeway. That's why I was making that turn confidently, as well as radio comms.
And so you could see the Black Fuhrer on the on ramp.
I could not see the Black Fuhrer on the on ramp. No, I was a bit tunnel vision, just looking for the main target at that point.
Okay, so the target vehicle and the first 2 vehicles ahead of you, the first 2 pursuit vehicles ahead of you, all pass by this Fuhrer on the on ramp, correct? And then while you were approaching it, then he turns in front of you, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you believe this to be an intentional action at that time?
In my experience as a police officer, yes, I believe this to be an intentional action.
And you relayed this over the radio immediately?
I'm just trying to recall.
If you need to reference your notes in the report, that's fine.
Let me just check quickly.
I need the report number again.
Pretty sure I called that out when it happened.
I cannot recall at this time
Yeah, you
if
did.
I did relay that over radio or not, if it was myself or someone else.
All right. I think I don't have anything further for him at this
I
time.
don't think I need to ask. I don't think I need to mention the speed thing because he kind of brought that upon him.
I don't think I need to mark him for
clarified it himself.
for recall.
I mean,
He said
unless
he-
you want to
He said he. Yeah.
Dan, I have a question.
You could ask if he has his cert.
Yeah.
On the off ramp, it has a bit of a decline, correct?
Correct.
Would you say your vehicle would have accelerated quicker than usual on a decline?
Correct.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I can.
What's up?
We typically can get the last word as defense. If I can have one or two more questions to cross on that one.
Maple, if you want to touch base on his cert, you can if you feel like that would help.
At what point
I don't
on
think
the
it's gonna
on-ramp
matter.
or off-ramp did you make collision with the vehicle? Was it at the top of the ramp?
Yeah,
middle
I don't
of the
think it's gonna
ramp,
make a difference
bottom of the ramp?
personally.
Top of the ramp.
Top of the ramp. So right along Elgin. Is Elgin generally at that area?
Actually, Elgin is a decline.
Inclined or typically flat? If you don't recall, that's fine.
there's a decline.
I mean, I know there's a large decline after that, but if anything, there's a slight decline at that point.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your
A
Honor.
good one, Roach. Good one.
I don't think we need to ask any more questions.
Alrighty, you are good to step down, and you have not
can't
been
anymore.
marked for recall, so you're free to leave if you wish.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does the prosecution have any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Alrighty, defense, feel free to call your first witness.
We call Sergeant Davenport, Your Honor.
You still swear to tell the truth, Davenport?
I sure do.
He's still sworn in, Your Honor.
Alrighty.
You still ain't gonna lie, right?
Davenport, we'll try to make this one a little bit quicker. I'm gonna kind of follow some of the same.
That was kind of passive aggressive.
Rhodes on his cross. Just gonna speed things up. The radio communications. We just want to clarify here. The radio communications that you heard, defining about the incidents at hand. So you had recalled the incident with the ramming of the car at the original Tulip scene. Was that firsthand witness or radio call that you heard?
I'd responded after that fact. I hadn't heard that come through.
Okay. At what point did you hear that come through in your personally?
The ramming, I had no idea that had happened until after the fact of where I believe it was Rhodes that said we're going to open fire to disable a vehicle. Due to the fact of the ramming, pulling in front of vehicles, and
Gotcha.
the fact he said he's going to shoot us.
Yeah, no problem. At the point at which the vehicle pulled in front of Dan Fisher's vehicle, was that information relayed to you, or did you relay that out to other officers?
I relayed it out to other officers the minute he turned left in front of him.
Okay, so you're the one that relayed that, potentially.
Yes,
at that point, did you make the...
Earlier.
No problem. At that point, did you make the call for officers to open fire on the vehicle?
No, I didn't.
When the individual made his statement, was his statement to you, that was during... were the vehicles stopped at that time?
Yes.
I don't know if that
And he made the statement to you. Did you make the call immediately to open fire on him, or did you relay that out to open fire? No, sorry, let me withdraw. Did you make the call to open fire on him immediately after he made the statement?
No, never once did I make any call to open fire on him. I simply relayed him.
Yep, no, that's why I'm asking if you made a call to open fire on him after hearing that. After hearing that, did you witness him step out of the vehicle?
The only time I witnessed him step out of the vehicle was after it was on Adams Apple Boulevard, where he'd hit Dark's vehicle, which in turn ran over Dark himself.
My husband.
Yeah, I know, it was terrible. It's a terrible day, actually. A lot of horrific stuff happened. I'm still
So sad.
Very
processing
sad.
all
Very
of it.
sad.
And to which point, that's when
He's just a boy.
Mr. Black stepped
Just
out
a
of the
boy.
vehicle, gun in hand, and opened fire.
Gotcha. I'm glad you brought up the part about Dark's vehicle. Where was Dark's vehicle positioned?
It was positioned on Adam's Apple as he was going to deploy spikes.
He was going to deploy spikes. He was on where? Would you say he was on the other side? Or actually, let's lay out the scene for the honorable judge to see this. What direction was the vehicle traveling prior to the impact with Dark's vehicle?
I believe it was traveling westbound.
Let's see. And it was traveling westbound on Adams Ave?
I believe so, yes. I turned the corner to see the car being hit, Dark getting hit, and him stepping out of the vehicle.
If you would like to refresh your memory, do you want to review statements just to make sure you have this clear memory?
Mm.
You want me to refer to other people's statements?
If you'd like. Actually, I can go ahead and point you to one if you can read this for me directly. If you want to refer to Richard Dark's statement directly.
Yeah.
It was to open fire.
If we look, actually, can I? You probably can't see my highlights. If you want to read starting at the call was made to open fire, which would be the second sentence.
Yeah.
And just continue on for until it ends with until it was safe to do so. Can you read that
from
section
where,
out
sorry?
for me?
Oh, the call was made on radio?
Yeah, the call was made on radio until
made on radio to open fire.
It was safe to do so.
The vehicle being pursued by Rhodes. Dark positioned Adams Apple Boulevard as the vehicle turned from Power to Adams Apple. Dark opened fire on the vehicle when it was safe to do so. The driver of the vehicle, Carl Johnny Black, swerved into Dark's vehicle, which was...
Yeah, sorry, that's good. I was mostly just getting us to redirect to how the vehicle was operating here. Does this refresh your memory on the direction of travel for the vehicle at all?
I was referring to myself. I was westbound, but...
Oh, okay. I apologize if the question was confusing. What direction he was traveling in relation to Dark's vehicle?
Oh, okay. He was traveling, yes, obviously. I guess it would be eastbound at that point, but I'd turned westbound off Elgin.
Understood. So when you saw prior to the impact with Dark's vehicle, what was the state of Mr. Black's vehicle?
No, wait.
Visibly from your
westbound.
understanding, did it appear to be smoking or fully operational and intact?
It was.
I don't know if that's something you could object to or something that you could.
It's not. It's something I'm going to clarify.
Right,
Yeah.
Is it possible during that turn? Actually, I'm going to withdraw that one.
You turned from Power on Adams.
So you were traveling westbound. Did you open fire on the vehicle after the vehicle came to a stop?
No. I immediately went to Olympic Freeway to get oversight on it.
Understood.
I believe by the time I'd seen all that happen, it was very quick. Units had opened fire, and Mr. Black went down quite quick after that fact.
Understood. I think that'll be all, Your Honor.
Alrighty, any redirect from the prosecution?
Yeah, just some clarifications. Referencing evidence and all that fun stuff. If I'm not mistaken, it was just outlined that it seemed that the suspect may have been traveling east and not west. I just want to confirm with you, Davenport, the direction and all that stuff.
Wouldn't it have been west? It wasn't South Power.
Got a picture of him.
Dark's location in his statements. We've been talking about it. Shortly after, it articulates that
I think it'd be
Dark was
west.
Eastbound lane near Alta. With your best recollection, turning from Power onto Adams Apple, and if Dark was towards Alta, I just want you to confirm the direction that would be from Power to Alta on Adams Apple.
Be west.
Alta?
Yes.
That would be westbound, actually.
Yes, it would be. So just to confirm, based off of the statement, as Dark has written, he was parked in the eastbound lane, and the Ferrari would have been traveling westbound, to your best recollection, correct?
I think we'd already opened fire on the vehicle,
like
though.
The aftermath of where seeing Dark basically get knocked by his vehicle, and yeah, I immediately went to Olympic Freeway because I seen KJ jump out with a gun in hand. Because I was considerably up the road. I was in Elgin and Adams Apple, so.
Okay. All right, that is my only redirect. Rhodes, do you have anything? Fisher, anything?
No. I got nothing.
No further questions for Davenport, Your Honor.
Hey, when I go up there and he asks me questions, I want you to hit on the fact
no, Your
that
Honor.
I was
I'll cover it
present
in the,
for,
recap.
or not present, but I was made aware of all the stuff.
Alright,
My original
slow
ramming,
down.
the additional stuff was communicated by Davenport,
Work.
which is why I made the call at that point
Work.
to open fire. The combination of everything.
We're gonna call up Rhodes.
I think I touched upon that already earlier, but I'll touch upon it again. Yeah.
Oh, Dad.
Damn, that just reminded me. I need to dress like Davin Swartell for Halloween.
It's a throwback.
I miss Martell, damn it. Don't worry. I'm just going to sit a little sideways. And I still swear to tell the truth.
Put that on your husband.
Yeah.
Alright, he's still sworn in.
Alrighty, you're good to proceed.
All right, Rhodes.
That's me.
We kind of went through a lot of this in some of your cross, so I'm trying to make sure I don't do too much crossover on all of that. So give me a moment here. All right, so we're kind of going with this timeline and breaking it down.
Did you guys put up your nomination?
So we can probably go through that. Do-do-do. We kind of covered this, but who told you over the radio that? Could you recall exactly who told you over the radio about the vehicle interfering in the supposed 120-mile interference?
Yes, that was Davenport.
That was Davenport. Did you clarify at all that he was? Did you clarify at all which officer was actually the one impacted by this?
I don't recall. Yeah, I don't recall if it was further clarified to the specific officer. I did, if I recall correctly, re-ask on radio to clarify that did in fact happen and that it seemed intentional. But it wasn't like the specific officer it had occurred to was not the one that had responded. I believe it was Davenport who made mention that he had witnessed it happen.
Do you specifically recall at any point prior to you making the decision to shoot, in which the officer directly involved and Fisher had confirmed that he felt it was an intentional ramming?
No.
Prior to you making the call to open fire on the vehicle, did anyone on the radio state to you that they witnessed Mr. Black with a firearm?
Nope.
At any point prior to you making the declaration to open fire on the vehicle, did anyone state on the radio or did you witness firsthand Mr. Black stepping out of the vehicle?
No.
I don't think nothing further, Your Honor.
Alrighty, any cross from the prosecution?
One moment, Your Honor.
Or just like Heath.
Once again, we have some clarifications outlined. Rhodes.
Yeah.
There was multiple, or was what? Yeah, was there multiple instances in this situation that prompted your decision to make the call to open fire?
Yes. Specifically 3 that I've referenced before. The original ramming of myself, Again, and it wasn't just a one-off thing. It was, multiple attempts to ram me. In addition to the situation observed by Davenport with Fisher, in addition to the threat made from the vehicle. So all three of those things played a role. And to be very clear, I made the decision to clear us to open fire upon the vehicle. As I had the context of my situation, I then had the explained context of Davenport witnessing the vehicle turn in front of an officer at high rates of speed, and then Davenport also communicating the threat from the individual. So all three of those things played a direct role in my decision making to clear us to open fire upon the vehicle.
All right. Just one moment. I don't think I have any further questions, but I want to double check.
Why? What is that noise?
Rhodes, you mentioned in your response to Barrett that the actions seemed intentional from Mr. Black. Would you say our position we hold in our jobs are very much reliant on good faith belief in actions? It's impossible to tell the direct intentions of an individual involved?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oftentimes we have to make judgment calls. Though those judgment calls are considerably easier to make when, for example, in the situation in which I was rammed, it wasn't just, a single tap. It was continuous ramming of my vehicle, showing it was very intentional as to what they were doing.
So you would say in this moment, with all of the information provided to you, plus what you witnessed firsthand, you had a good faith belief that a credible threat was posed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, based upon the way they were, they were driving, 1,000%, with or without intent. If he's turning in front of individuals doing over 100 miles an hour, I think it's hard to argue that there isn't an immediate threat of serious injury on that basis alone. Not that that's the only reason. Again, I've outlined all three instances that played a role into my decision making there. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Them fleeing put other lives in danger.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any redirect from the defense?
Yeah, just a little. I mean, it's almost kind of recapping the same thing, but that was basically a recap.
Recap for the recap?
Well, recap for the recap, Rose.
You hit me with it. Just don't hit my husband.
No, I'm not going to hit your husband. Physically.
Okay.
What?
Rhodes.
He's married,
Right?
Yeah. So, why is it you didn't feel prudent to, in your best terms, after hearing that the vehicle had turned in front of an officer, why didn't you make the call to shoot in that moment?
It was a little more difficult on the basis that I wasn't there. For additional context, this wasn't just like a single pursuit. There had been several vehicles sort of simultaneously being pursued all throughout, some of which would get away, reattach. There was a lot of time on radio in which radio communications were a little hectic. But I mean, I even said before, in the situation in which I was rammed, I wouldn't, deem that solely enough to open fire upon the vehicle. When the additional stuff was brought up, and Davenport, clarified that it was at high rate of speed, I almost made the call at that point. However, I didn't. We were also, again, pursuing other vehicles. But when the threat was made, again, the combination of situation 1, 2, and now 3 was enough for me to make that call.
Yeah, we're focusing on why you didn't make the call in that moment when you heard that the vehicle had intercepted. We understand you're culminating everything together, but why didn't you make the call in that moment when you heard that the vehicle had made collision at 120?
It's hard to say. I mean, ultimately, again, they're judgment calls. And Davenport, who is the one who did state this, wasn't present from the very start. Not that that's sort of a disqualifier. But again, judgment calls. Everyone sort of has, I guess, a different threshold on when we're going to be making calls to open fire. And our response is, unfortunately, not ever going to be consistent because it's also going to be dependent on resources available to us. Obviously, we don't want to escalate if we don't have resources to be able to do so. So there's a lot of things that go into that decision making, to where, again, I only felt it appropriate once that threat was made, and not before that.
Right. So to summarize, the reason you
it's a judgment call.
Determination. It's a judgment call because did you, by chance, not determine that there was an immediate danger at the moment that you identified that had happened over the radio?
I don't know that I would argue it on that basis.
I mean, if you didn't make the call immediately, then there wasn't an immediate danger, right?
Well, again, I wasn't present for it, so it's harder for me to determine. Though, again, I did ask clarifying questions on radio to ensure that it was done seemingly with intent and not just oop, didn't mean to do that. And then the threat came shortly after. It wasn't all that long after the second situation. I don't really know the timing of that either, truthfully, but it wasn't all that long after.
Yeah, and to go into specifics, the threat. We do mention the threat a lot.
Yes.
The threat specifically involved what steps that you articulated that Mr. Black was in imminent danger?
Well, he done said the only time he gonna get out the car was to start blasting.
Well,
I'm paraphrasing, and that's what was communicated to me. I want to make that clear. I did not hear it from KJ.
No, I understand. Now, of course, this is all because you are the one that made the call to shoot.
That's correct.
So ultimately, the responsibility does lie on you, correct?
Yeah.
So it is going to come down to whatever articulation you have for this. So it was, as you stated, it was if he gets out of this car, he's going to shoot.
Yeah. Yep.
But before you made the call to shoot, did you identify his capability to shoot definitively and factually?
No. But I still deemed it an immediate threat. If someone tells me they're gonna shoot me, that's a problem.
Well, now let's clarify this out a little bit, because did he say, "I'm going to shoot you"?
Actually, based upon what I heard, yes. The only time he gonna get out the car was to shoot you to Davenport.
Well, now let's go back. We're hearing a very specific part of this that we want to kind of think on here.
Okay, hit me with that.
At what point will he shoot?
Well, I mean, based upon what was stated, when he get out the car.
So did Mr. Black get out of the car before you made the call to shoot?
No, he didn't.
So would you determine that to be an immediate threat if he is still in the car, not actively exiting the car?
Absolutely. 110%. If he had a bomb in the car, I ain't gonna wait for him to blow it the fuck up before we do something. Tell me you have a bomb and I will trust and believe and respond accordingly.
Mm-hmm. I think I've made my point, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Alrighty, Rose, you're good to step down.
All right.
Do you have any other witnesses?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
Did I ask you what you wanted to? I think I did.
Yeah.
Got you.
Alrighty.
I'm going to touch on his failure to surrender peacefully for
10
closing.
minutes to get the closings ready, and then we will go from there.
I think we play on the fact that he was given multiple opportunity to surrender, and he never took that opportunity.
Nope.
He was given the chance to peacefully surrender, and his option was to instead threaten law enforcement. And in order for him to surrender, he would have had to step out the vehicle, constituting that his threat would come to fruition. Alongside the aggressive nature of his driving and the use of his vehicle as a weapon, all constituting officers opening fire on the suspect to prevent the suspect from causing further harm to officers and or the public.
Well, he did plead guilty to reckless evading.
Yep.
Which states.
I think that should also be brought up too.
I'm gonna touch on the pleading guilty to reckless evading and felony obstruction.
Let me get the exact wording of reckless evading.
I mean, it's the portion at the end where it states putting lives in danger.
Yep. There it is. I think that I think something being brought up about the reckless evading, him pleading guilty, and that reckless evading directly involves putting lives in danger, which he did.
That's problem.
So I'm going to touch on the intentional felony obstruction.
Yeah, I mean, their whole defense is going to be if you didn't open fire in each of these specific instances, the three that I've identified, why did this result in PD using deadly force? The reality is, again, ultimately, they are judgment calls that we have to make. Davenport may have been present for the 100, 120 mile an hour situation on Elgin towards Del Perro, but he wasn't present for the situation before that, in which it was blatantly obvious he was trying to ram my vehicle because he did it multiple times, trying to essentially pin me against the wall. So the combination of the very intentional act of ramming me on Del Perro, the seemingly intentional act, and even if it wasn't intentional, at the end of the day, he's still putting lives in danger by fleeing from, the situation. I mean, at the end of the day, listen, I said it. If someone tells me they have a bomb, trust and believe that we are going to respond accordingly. We're not going to wait for the bomb to blow up to be like, oh, fuck, he had one. Okay? Mm-hmm. Tell me you're going to shoot me and I will respond accordingly.
We can double team this closing.
Sure.
So like I can say some and you can say some and we can kind of work together on it. So you can
like a duet.
You can speak your truths on that whole aspect of things, and then and I'll also outline the other details regarding failure to surrender, and all that stuff.
I will say, Maple, your side of closing for the reckless evading, luckily you don't need to go too far into it other than just making note that he had already pled guilty to the current incident. And then just referencing all the times he put people in danger.
Let's see.
I think one thing we probably should have touched on as Ben Fisher was on the stand was due to the fact that certification as a specialist within the suit team, his professional opinion, speed carried through the corner,
Yo, I'm just saying, we also have We also have qualified immunity.
Mm-hmm.